This is the Koa Sports League.
And it's going to be on like Donkey Kong. Norton now on the outside with the aero helmet, but here comes Ryan Britton. Ryan Britton at 15.7 watts per kilo. Aero helmet all done. He's not done. Green Tron brake all lit up, and Britton gets the win.
Who's going to take the jockeys? We're back, Tim. We're back. You don't know what to say. You're in your pajama pants. It's Friday morning in Australia. And what's happened?
I don't have my piece of paper that I usually... There it is. There it is. So I can point.
Welcome to the Koa Sports League Community Race, and a huge welcome to Kent Cappuccino Cross with his white hair. Oh, it's going blue. It's a bit of blue. It looks like a blue rinse.
What is going on?
Grey,
every day,
silver fox,
every day it gets a bit strawier. And
that's not even a word.
It's called conditioner.
Well, it's Friday morning. I'm going with it. I am going with it.
We've had our coffee.
How good was last night?
Oh, unbelievable. We're going to jump straight in and have a look at the replay.
Yeah, check out the replay from last night too. So, but let's have a look at the course. So we're going around Yorkshire.
We're going there first.
We are doing a ride through, aren't we? Yeah, we're going the ride through.
Which one are we going to do first? Ride through.
Ride through.
Righto, let's have a look.
Ride through. Let's have a look, because some people who are watching or riding for the first time, I have noticed quite a few new names, Greg, on Zwift Power as well. So the world is Yorkshire, and the course is the 2019 UCI. Thanks for that, Kappa. Cut me off beautifully there. So they come out. So it's right on straight away. The you'll see top right there that goes 3-4%. It just sits at about 3 or 4% for the first few Ks. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah, absolutely. Straight uphill, and the attrition starts from the gun. You can see here, Tim got dropped really early when he did this race. So 2 Ks uphill, then we hit a right-hander. It just sort of drags on, flattens out, drags on, and then we hit a right-hander and get a bit of reprieve through the Yorkshire countryside. Yep.
Downhill here, and that big peloton, that chase peloton, brought them all back. We had that early breakaway, about 4 or 5 riders, but such is how Zwift works. Those big chasing pelotons, they get up so much speed going downhill. Something to look at, in my opinion, humble opinion.
Very humble.
So a lot of, look, I know this is going to sound a bit blasé, but a lot of up and down through here before they hit a fairly tumultuous downhill section just here. It's the only real chance for the heart rate to come down before the Yorkshire Com.
Yeah, so the Yorkshire Com, which doesn't come...
Still a while.
Comes up shortly, is very significant in this event. This is, I believe, one of the best race circuits on Zwift by far. And there we go. There's a little
Standard
squirrel.
Sequoia, 1.
Yep.
And this is number 2 for mine.
There you go.
That's my opinion.
There you go.
Just my opinion. And so downhill they come. They get the aero tuck, and here's the start of the Yorkshire Com. There's only one small chance here. It flattens out at the roundabout to, when I say flattens out, it drops to 2% from 7%. So there's just a little bit of a chance there. But we saw a little attack by Daz Carter at this stage last night. And up they come again and for the Com. So this is where it really bites. It starts to hit to 8%, and that really hurts after about 15 minutes of pretty hard racing.
Absolutely. And then you've got a few little rights, lefts, and all that sort of stuff, and through town and through Tim's house there on the
Tactics.
right. Before we, you've got a few up and downs again too. So 4-5% kickers, you've got to stay with the group. Yeah,
that kicker there on Millionaires Road, that is an absolute bitey one, because that's where you burn a match, and you'd only get about 4 minutes to recover before this sprint finish line. But the finish line just before it, of course, has this uphill 8 to 10% section. And that's where it all sort of happens. That's where people go a little bit early. It's a really difficult finish line to navigate.
Yeah, you'll see the squirrel in a minute. There it is. And then up we go. It does flatten out a little bit, but you've got to, if you've got your feather, you want to use it as soon as you hit the squirrel, and then up to the finish line, still 2% as you go through the finish line. And Tim and Kappa, who's going to take the chockies?
Tonight, who knows? Who knows? But let's have a look at what happened last night in the finish line, just what we were talking about then. So we obviously had Tommy Ing there leading the breakaway, and we'll pick it up right now. So this was last night. So we had Tommy Ing. He got picked up there by Adam Ostott of Team Relentless. This was at the bottom of the Com, and the chase pack you can see was 4 seconds back. And we won't ruin the finish if you don't know the result, but certainly they came together pretty hard here. Here's the chase pack. You want the right power up. You had feathers in there, aero helmets very early, but you're just dying just to hang on. You can see Ryan Britton there, so we're with him now. He's on the green Tron bike, and C Ball leading the charge. He had to close that gap, closed it late, but got it done in the end. But Britton there, just beautiful. 800, 900 watts here, holding it, just hanging in there, and look at that heart rate.
Yeah, you get 190, 198, 200, I reckon, by the time he hits the line. Rolls straight across the top of Chris Ball, sits up, waves at the crowd, signs a few autographs, and picks up the win. And that's 3 out of 4 now for Britain, so certainly establishing himself right at the top of the verified Koa Sports League. And that event is really taking off week in, week out, with over 1,600 people registered, Tim. I just made that up, but I think it's about right.
No, that is spot on, and about 800 verified, so it's pretty impressive. So, yeah, Ryan Britton taking the win in A grade last night. C-Ball comes in second. El Messineo of Team ZF, he gets some points there in third place. Dalton Stretton picks up fourth, and Christopher Hatz there rounds it out in fifth place. We'll go through some of the other grades throughout the coverage, Kappa, but let's head on down. A minute 50 to go, and see what we can go through at the moment.
This race is going to be very, very fast. I think last night, I'm just, again, having a bit of a stab here, but 21 minutes last night. And, some of the names that we're going to see absolutely smashing it out. Dalton's backing it up. So shout out to the guys who did the double last night. So Christo Ball, Dalton Stretton, Tommy Ing, and there was another athlete in there as well that backed up and did the 2 races. And I apologise if I've missed out other people that did.
Don't worry, you'll get a message.
I'll give us some feedback. Now, Tim...
When you say the double, the chop, of course, and the league race, or
yes.
Did you say that already?
No, I didn't. So,
I wasn't listening.
Yep, Cadero, he was in that front group last night as well. Zach Johnson, Matthew Huld, Matsuku,
Scotty McLean.
Kenta Endo, Scotty McLean. Tell us about Scotty McLean, Tim.
Scotty McLean's great. He's a big supporter, loves the broadcast, tunes in, watches the replay, and really working on his strategies and tactics at the moment. So good on Scotty McLean. So shout out to him, a great supporter, and always with plenty of feedback, which we take on board. And plenty of comments now coming through Koa Sports on our Facebook feed. We've got Alex Side there sitting this one out, who's usually a bit of a regular. It must be pretty good weather now over in that side of the world, Greg, good. Because the numbers in the paddock are a little bit down, but that's okay. We've got a rider just going off the front there. That's a little bit early for mine.
How's that? They'll get reversed back.
They'll
get reversed back. So, and a lot of comments coming through there on the Zwift platform as well. Good morning from Auckland, New Zealand. D. Welch there in the group. So, Vamos Sadil Ahoy. I always give that one out. So, Tim, you do the next one.
No
Saludos de Sere, New York, coming through from Hernandez, and Jay Fernandez saying something back. I'm not even going to try.
And here we go. Out they go, out of the paddock, hard and fast racing. So, of course, bear in mind, we do like to cut it back and call multiple finishes. I think we called 5 finishes last night in this race. And there was that finish at the end there with Staggy and Zach Anstey was an absolute ripper. So, A. Pagan, yeah, definitely some names there we haven't seen before. Someone had a head start, I reckon.
Yep.
But who knows, bit of a glitch. They'll come back to the pack. Fabian Husset in there.
There's our finish line.
Monks and Crozolo, that is correct. So full lap here of the Harrogate circuit, of course, out in Yorkshire.
Yep, and just going to roll up here. As soon as you turn right here, so we're at 0%, we're going to start going right uphill.
99.
And Tim, you are pointing something
99.
out. There you go. 99.
Just so 99 starters here, and we've had 400 at stages, so it just goes to show the nature of the Zwift season at the moment. There's been a fair bit of Zwifting going on the last 4 months.
A fair little bit of stuff going on. So early power. So you get that power up, well, obviously, when you cross the finish line after 200 metres. So a few guys and girls burning that power up off pretty early, but you do get another one. You do get another one coming towards the finish. So fingers crossed that you get the one you're looking for, and that for me would be the 10XP.
And welcome along Troy Bremner of International Protein, great supporter.
Is
there
he
of
in the
Koa
race?
Sports. He's not in the race. No, he's tuning in on Facebook.
It's fair to say if there was going to be a man that would break a trainer, it would be Troy Bremner.
I think the trainer would be in strife. He'd have to be on the kicker bike, like that thing we did at 2 times.
Oh wow, that guy nearly busted it.
Off the front here of Zach Johnson, just asking the question early, and Dalton Stretton comes across to close that gap. And stretchy, here comes that peloton, because this is where it starts to basically get smaller and smaller. Already we can see that attrition. You're just burning, just trying to hang in there.
Yep.
So you want to be, about mid-pack and taking about 30-40 watts off the legs.
Yeah, we're just watching Johnson there, heart rate 150. We have seen him before, so that's very comfortable for him. And Dalton Stretton just pushes a lazy 8 watts a kilo just to stretch that group out. And Hassan's in that group as well. Hassan, the regular in the Koa Sports Community Race. And Dal Santo, Nicky Dow's in there. So good to see him in there too.
Swing that chopper around, Kappa, because I think we're going to get some people just trying to close that gap as they come across. And then it becomes about a bit of a lights out situation where you just look at, I just cannot close that gap anymore. So really good perspective here. You can see that gap if you're watching on your phone, iPad or whatever. There's those riders just sort of 3 back off this main group. That's now, I reckon, stretching to a couple of seconds. Hard to close. Really hard to close. And you'll get this second massive pack, which will definitely call through on the finish line. But that is about it. Yet gap is not going to close.
No, absolutely. That will drag out. Now, there's Scott McLean just at the back of that bunch as well, Team Cannondale, so he'll be right in there. And a new rider there, A. Knees, so another Argentinian rider. And the Argentinian amigos there, we've got a different group of amigos this morning, but definitely some Argentinian athletes in there. New ones, Martinez, we haven't seen him before either. So, and Sivery in that front group, and a good name for cycling, C. Crit is in that group. And there's Tommy Ing. Tommy Ing is in the front group. He's on a hat trick.
He's going the trifecta.
Slept in the pain cave next to his bike last night, I believe. So he'll be ripping and a tearing.
Kappa, you're there, mate. Tune in. You're alive.
I'm there. Yep. Got my coffee.
How's the coffee?
Halfway through, mate.
Oh, God. That's pretty good for Kappa. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. That is pretty good. So here they come towards the top of this main start line, and it starts to flatten off. And then they get this real chance now just to knock a few beats per minute off and roll it down, get into that nice little aero tucked position, have a drink of water, because they've been going hard, I know, for about 3.5 minutes, but there'd already be a few beads of sweat on the floor at this point.
A few, I'd be dead. But this front, there's someone just laying it down off the front there. So Sivery and Lin-War, we've seen those two guys before. So 2 watts a kilo. He's just sat up a little bit, so he'll bring that back. And 120 beats a minute. So it's a little bit low, but we'll see what happens there. And Dranquiel in there as well, and Jay Jolly and Fragoza in that front group.
Moves. Look at that peloton there. It just moves so fast, Greg, and just swallows them up and moves on through. Dalton Stretton there on the aero, just in the beautiful aero tuck position. Well played, sir. Well played. Scotty McLean there sitting 181 back, about 20th wheel. And we've got a rider just down the back there, 11.3 watts per kilo there by Kenta Endo as they come up this little 5%er. So a little uppercut by Endo.
Good course for Kenta.
Yes, it is a good course indeed. Jay Brown, but it's all going to be on, of course, at the Yorkshire Com.
Yeah, 1.2 Ks, an average about 6%. So that one certainly will string these guys out. And Matsuyuku is in there as well. And good to see him every week, week in, week out. And the Monk, Team Finesse Monks, is in there as well. And a shout out to a couple other people following along at home, Tim, and one of those is your great man from Perth, Jason Avery, who he's probably on the tools still this morning, doing a bit of spot of painting or something in that new mansion over there. About
right. I spoke to Jace yesterday. He's got a bit on at the moment, but going beautifully. And we were talking about the training camp, actually, of all things. And,
we on?
Well, we're waiting for the gates to open, so to speak.
What's her name? That woman, Anastasia
Palaszczuk. Yep. Let's not get political because this is sport. And so Callan Lavender there. Welcome back to the coverage, and of course the Lavender man. So
thank you to Callan for wearing the right socks. That was just spot on. And
made it easy, didn't it? Perfect. So just missing the coverage is dropping the kids off at school, and that could mean a few things in Australia. dropping the kids off at school.
There's going to be people absolutely really laughing at that, and there's going to be people like, what the hell are they talking about?
No
if you don't know, ask Kappa.
Yeah, ask Kappa indeed. But that's good to see. So Scotty McLean there in that pack there. M. Costa, M. Aritz, J. Jolly, Cadero there. Good to see him back, of course. And Fragosa. So going to be some, as you said, Del Santo in there. So some very strong Argentinian representation. It'll be interesting to see, even if they're not in the same team, the countrymen, so to speak, getting together and trying to get the chockies. But they're about to get this long downhill section, very quick, I should say. It's hard coming the other way if you go counterclockwise.
I've ridden this backwards.
Absolutely bites.
Yeah.
But
17% at one point.
That would hurt.
Righto, throw it out there. Kappa, tip please.
Under the bus. Here he goes.
Come on. Johnson. Zach Johnson. Okay, and Timmy?
Jeepers, that's a bit harsh. Let me think on it. I'll wait till the finish line.
Yeah, because we've got some different names. I'll wait till the finish line.
I'll go with Dalton Stretton.
Oh, you beat me to it.
Dalton Stretton for mine.
He gets a little bit of broadcast FTP, old Dalton, because his mum usually throws through a couple of messages as well, watching along there at home. So I think he's in Tassie. There you go. Team Aero. So good to see. And an amazing rider in real life as well. So watch for him over the next few years as they get smashing some of these big events around Australia and the world when they kick off again.
84 kilometres an hour and just flying on down here, just sitting up. Good time. You can actually just sit up. You don't even need to pedal on your trainer. Have a drink of water. Don't worry about the handling. No steering. Can't wait for the steering to really come in and really kick in. Surely the Zwift bike that they're building is going to have steering. Surely.
You would imagine so.
Surely. That'll be a real game changer, so to speak, you'd think.
Shout out to the great Joe Muzza-Murrell, who is now leading the C grade. Oh, she won last night. Yep. C or D grade? Not
leading
sure.
The way,
C grade. We just did the results. So well done to Joe. And good to see you watching along there. You probably got snow falling outside. So have a lovely Friday.
Yep, so week 3 of the June series of the Koa Sports League last night. Good chance to go through a couple of the results. Aaron Stagg taking the chockies there in B grade, M. Montgomery, Ian Cox and C. Sinclair in C grade, Toby Kerrison, G. Buick, Sean Kaminsky, S. Smith, Ian Wardale in the top 5 there. D grade, we had P. Hawker, Curtis Gomez, Philip Kostras and Shannon McLuth there. No more by first name basis now, Greg. We're so tight. And of course, down in women's, we had Jay Hamilton taking the win. S. Goodyear in B grade, Jay Murrell in C grade, and Lynn Vaughan taking the win in D grade. So lots of team points to tally up today, and expect that to be posted at some stage over the weekend when I just sit back and watch my wife do
it. Have a couple of sherbets.
Yep.
So, and speaking of sherbets, how's that groin going, Tim?
Better
today. Kappa, do we get the chair out for him, or is he going to be okay?
I reckon he can last.
There's our first squirrel coming up there, so that indicates we are turning right, and we're already about halfway through in this one, so look out.
They're going to be moving through pretty quickly today, that is for sure. A. Knees in there, great surname, Knees. We could come up with some ripping nicknames for A. Knees, but we won't.
Patella, his mates call him.
Yes, there you go.
Pat.
See,
Pat. There's the Pat. That's his surname.
That's how it happens in Australia. It just sticks, right? It just sticks. But Australians love nicknames. That's for
Kappa,
sure.
what was your nickname before we threw you under the bus and called you Kappa?
Boof. That's what my dad used to call me.
You look like a boof right now with that hair.
Has your old man seen your new hairdo?
Not yet. Actually.
He's disowned him. So, anyway, there you go. So, what colour are we going to have it next week, Kappa?
Oh, I don't know. Purple?
That'll be good. Lavender.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Anyway, back to the racing. So this front group here of about 20 to 25 riders, they are going to fight this one out. So really good to see. And they've got that downhill bit coming up into the left-hander. And then they're going to hit the start of the comb. 1.2 Ks at 6%. And as your Lavender man said there before, Tim Callan, he's looking to see some stem chewing going on as they come up that
Dan Messina, your mate from the Natural
the US
Grocers.
of A,
Yeah,
Dan Messina.
get that right?
He's usually in this race. I wonder if he's there this morning. So
Feed up. Great podcast. So tune in and have a listen. So here we go. Bottom of the Yorkshire Com. They'll take a left-hander and up we go. Watch for this Group 2 spread out. I'd say we'll have about half left across the top. We'll see if that's right. So Z Johnson there just sitting about mid-pack. Lenoir moves through to the front. We've got a Ritz there at 8.4 watts per kilo taking command with Jay Brown and Savory. We've got Endo off the front, Greg. Well called. And Endo is just moving their way up here. And M. Hould as well. A Ritz there just also dominating with Dalton Stretton sitting about third or fourth. Did the same thing last night. Z Johnson moving up there on the inside. Easy to identify at 11.6 watts per kilo. So Z Johnson here asking the question of Dalton Stretton. Dalton Stretton getting stretched. Getting stretched. So here he goes 1 second back, but Z Johnson really laying it down. We could have a very, very small front pack at this rate. They're all going to have to respond because Z Johnson does have form on this com. Dalton Stretton now just rolls it back. Z Johnson looks like he's going to take it solo.
Yeah, watch for Zach. He's a very strong athlete. Finished 15th in A grade last night in the chop. 29th in the Shram Send It Series last race. He's a young guy, under 20 rider out of the Trinity Racing Group. So watch for him. He's definitely got some huge results coming on Zwift. And he has set his new thresholds in the last 2 weeks. So he is in form. In form
indeed. 3 seconds back to Durank and Hould at 4 seconds. And here it is. This is a great view capper. We'll leave that one up there. So 8.8 watts per kilo, the ensuing chase. We've got Tommy Ing there 5-6 seconds back to Monks and McLean and Mitsuki. Kenta Endo there 3 seconds back as well. So it looked like it was going to blow out to 8 and it's just held at 3 seconds. So potentially not wanting to go solo, Z Johnson, because that would be a no mean feat to go solo from this point. But look at the damage. We had a group of 25. Now we've got one off the front, two together, and a whole bunch now stretched out back down the com. But pretty solid chase pack there, about 4 seconds back with the likes of Dalton Stretton as well. But they're going to have to get a wriggle on because Z Johnson, he's not going to sit up. He's going to lay it down. It's probably part of a training session, knowing Zach. So 6.4 watts per kilo on the downhill, 144 beats per minute. Carries a low heart rate, Zach, but we've seen that before and we know that well. So 407 watts now, Z Johnson going solo off the front. Chasing here is Durank and M. Hould of Laferde Cycles. 18 seconds now back to McLean. Wow. That's a massive gap. So Zach Johnson well and truly asking the question now. It does stretch out though, these time gaps on this downhill. So when it starts to flatten out and gets back together in about 500 metres time, we'll get a true indication of the time gap. But going well there, Zach Johnson off the front. Durank there 15 seconds back. The chase packet just 2 people now and then about 5 riders back again.
Yeah, watch out for Zach. His most recent result was obviously a while back in January, 9th in the under-23 Australian National Championships, if you don't mind. Yep. So he is no slouch when it comes to racing here. Sun Herald Tour last year, he had a great result as well, so watch out for him coming.
Durank's taken the lead, so he's just rolled on past Johnson here on those 6 to 8%, so this is going to be great to watch. We're going to have a bit of a duo here of 2 riders going hammer and tonk. 622 watts now by Z Johnson. Heart rate, I think the heart rate monitor is busted, but we'll go with what we can see, and we've got a coning issue up ahead. He's gone, he dead. So Zach Johnson here now leading the way again. Durank, yep. No good there. McLean there 13 seconds and Tommy Ing there 14 seconds back. So Z Johnson takes the lead back here as the Invisible Man kicks in. Don't we love that? So Tommy Ing now and Lenoir, they're going to work together to try and close this gap. 14 seconds up the road to Z Johnson. I'm not going to call it. I still think that could be closed if we could get 3 or 4 riders working together.
So you got Kadiro, Endo, Stretton and Monks all together at 9 seconds. So I'd expect them to come back up to McLean. Do have Johnson still 20, or saying 25, it's not that far, but that'll come back as well. Pack. But that's a good pack there and some quality athletes in there with Stretton, Kadiro, Lenoir in there as well. So watch for this group here. They'll get ripping. That's a really early capper at 7 watts a kilo. Still Zach Johnson. So he's absolutely smashing it. And he went on the hill. He went on the comm and he just said, follow me if you can. And you can imagine being a very, very strong road rider. He can hold a 10-minute effort at probably 120%.
Yeah, that's extraordinary riding. But just a shame the heart rate monitor isn't working. You need to change that battery so we can really know what is going on. So Zach Johnson there rolls on through, picks up his power up. He's put 20 seconds in. Let's stay with the chase pack here of Hould and McLean because they're going to try and close that gap of 28 seconds. Going to be hard to do sitting at 7.5 watts per kilo over the final 5 minutes if you don't mind. So McLean there at 4.3 watts. Tommy Ing there chasing at 5.1. So we've got a humdinger chase pack here.
Yeah, we'll stay with this group and a couple of power-ups being burnt through. And they'll burn those up because they're going to pick up another one with about 1.5 km to go as well. So Tommy Ing, 2 seconds back. He's got to work hard, Tommy. You'll be watching at home. So rip those pedals out of the cranks and get back up, mate. So there he is. He's going to roll back up onto these three. And remember those socks in the finish. They had an awful mustard sock. They were awful. Certainly no lavender there. And 14 seconds back to Kadiro, Monks, Linwer, Endo, Stretton. So good, strong group as Tommy Ing just roll straight through the front, but he'll sit up a little bit.
Takes charge.
And he'll wait for these guys to roll up to the front. So.
Yeah, going through there, Zach Johnson there. He's right up the front there at 35-second gap. Unbelievable riding. 8.2 watts per kilo. Z Johnson will scroll on through and watch him at the moment. So it'd be good to watch him come through and probably take the chockies, you'd think. But unbelievable here. There, the heart rate monitor's kicked back in at 174 beats per minute. Rolling on through here at 9.3. Geez, I'd like to see his data ons with power at the end of this because I haven't seen that number drop below 6 watts per kilo for about 10 minutes. Incredible, incredible performance. But while he probably rolls on through and strolls on through for the win, let's roll on back here to the chase packs because it's going to be a great finish here, back in the pack here.
Yeah, this three here are fighting it out for second place at the moment. There's still a good few kilometres to go, but, well, not too far, but a little bit to go there for Zach off the front and McLean just holding on to that group as well. Tim?
We'd love to see Zachy boy come into the verified league, mate, because I reckon he'd go really, really well. I think Zach would perform really well. So, Zach, make sure you punch in your registration and come and verify in the league, mate, because you'd be riding amongst some pretty handy riders and throwing it down on a Thursday night. So come on down, mate, because you clearly have some talent. So Hould there, Lenoir and Monks there, 18 seconds back. Stretton there again and Endo. So we're going to have two pretty hot finishes, Greg.
Yeah, Kappa's going to have his work cut out to drop back 18 seconds to find those guys, but he'll get there, no doubt about it. So we've still got Johnson, obviously, off the front, and then a chase pack of 3 and then a chase pack of 4 behind that. So it's going to be a very interesting finish as these guys are going to hit that right-hand turn now and head up to the finish.
Yeah, extraordinary effort. And we'll just flick on through to Z Johnson as he crosses the line there. Kappa, I'm sure, if he hasn't already, he's probably just about to cross that line. He's come up here. He's played his power up, if you don't mind, as well. So shout out here. Really strong performance. Knocks it back just to a lazy 400 watts and 6.7 watts per kilo. So Z Johnson here going to take the win. But let's go back now to the chase pack because there's going to be a bit of a sprint finish here between these three riders, Greg. Yeah. I'll let you call it.
Yeah, no worries. So here we go. Tommy Ing now off the front, drops at 14 watts a kilo. McLean tries to respond using the power up. Oh, that's Hould, 12 watts a kilo. And then we've got McLean there at 1 second, 14 watts a kilo. So Hould rides straight over the top of Tommy Ing. Here comes McLean now playing that feather out, power up to perfection. He's going to roll straight over the top of these guys. He's going to have time to sit up, have a drink, wave at the crowd. Kappa, let's call the next one.
Here we go. It's going to be hard to pick up at this way. We've got Lenoir here leading the way with Monks and Dalton Stretton now moving up on the outside on that purple Tron bike, and he's going to roll on through on the inside now. Monks responds, puts his head down. I think Dalton will be able to hold him off, perhaps, maybe, and yes, just edges him out there. Dalton Stretton gets the chockies, as we say. We'll call one more group through Kappa. Right on back, see if we can get like a 2-minute back and actually get our head around who exactly is in. There you go. You got a 208. Let's see how many riders we've got there. Yep, that's a good pack.
Group.
Greg, we'll call this one through and call it a day. So Jay Beck in there. Good to see some different rider names. We've got B's and a smattering of A-graders, but
Nichols
we've got
in that group.
Jason the Watt Freak in there, M. Fratius, and of course, there's some real curvy names in here.
Tongue twisters. So we've got Tapel there, Malaysian athlete, the Fox team. That's a good one, Tim. Shia Naturelli. Oh, my God. Good luck. Shia. Shia's in that group. And A-grade rider. Tapel's in there. Power-up's being played way too early here, but I've just called that. I'm just giving a bit of free advice out there. Before they hit the right-hander, these guys and girls are going to rip this up. Following Nickel there, 168-61 beats a minute. Out of the Brat Club, I used to be, and Randwick Botany Cycling Club, used to be a member of both of those teams back in the day. So here we go now. It's Tapel off the front with Shia. Shia's off the front as well. So Nickel 4.9 watts a kilo. Jason's still in that group as well. This is like the ride we saw last night. There's a lot of hurt going through these legs.
Yeah.
Nakasuka still off the front there now. 4.9 watts a kilo. Hasn't hit the power up button yet. Just up the road is Spoutro. So Spoutro might get swallowed up here if he doesn't pick his game up. Tappel's still coming up there. Beck, there's no power ups being touched just yet. You'd want to be hitting that button now. So Nagasuka, 7 watts a kilo from Nagasuka, just dropped the power up. Tappel trying to respond back across, and here comes 9 watts a kilo from Jason. What the freak? What the hell? What the freak's coming straight over the top. He's going to pick up Nakasuka. He might pick up the next rider as well. But here comes Nickel now. He's going to absolutely swoop him through there, and Nickel takes the sprint. So great sprint from Nickel. And a little bit about Nickel. We don't know if it's the real Nickel or the Sun Nickel, because they do share a little account every now and then. So just a little bit.
Good
well done to Nickel out of the Brat and Randwick Botany Cycling Club, racing out of Heffron Park. I had a huge crash on Heffron Park crit track one day, and a dog ran out in front of our group in a crit and had a little bit of an off. Yeah, I hit the grass, so I was a bit lucky.
That's a real setback.
There you go. So
good to be back, Greg.
Great call. Good to be back 2 days in a row. And we're absolutely right back into it. Now, you guys are going to go for a ride this morning in the rain?
We like to have a little bit of spin, so we'll do that. But between now and then, we'll see you next Thursday for, of course, Race 4 in the June series of the Koa Sports League and the AHDR Chop.
Can't wait.
This is the Koa Sports League.
And it's going to be on like Donkey Kong. Norton now on the outside with the aero helmet. But here comes Ryan Britton. Ryan Britton at 15.7 watts per kilo. Aero helmet all done. He's not done. Green Tron brake all lit up, and Britton gets the win.
Who's going to take the jockeys?